Imagine a night as black as ink, the sea roaring below, and a woman, beautiful and terrified, plunges into the icy depths. Picture, if you will, the luxurious splendor of a grand cruise ship sailing under the cloak of darkness. All seems calm, all seems serene, but beneath the surface a sinister plot is unfolding. In the blink of an eye, a moment of terror shatters the tranquility. A woman, radiant and full of life, is suddenly gone, swallowed by the churning ocean. The ship sails on, its passengers oblivious to the tragedy that has just occurred. Days turn into weeks. 3 weeks later, on a remote island beach, her lifeless body is found. A chilling discovery that marks the beginning of a mystery, as deep and as turbulent as the sea itself. But who would want to harm such a radiant soul? Let's uncover the truth. Now, let's meet the key players of this maritime tragedy. A love triangle that could rival the greatest of Shakespeare's dramas. First, we have Richard. He's the captain of the ship, a man with the world at his fingertips, and a charm that could seduce the stars from the sky. He and our victim, the beautiful and enigmatic Isabella, have been entwined in a passionate affair, hidden from the prying eyes of the crew and passengers. His motive? Perhaps the fear of exposure, of losing his reputation and his command. Or maybe, just maybe, a love so intense it borders on insanity. Next, there's Alexander, the first-class passenger with a first-class ego. He's Isabella's husband, a wealthy businessman who sees the world as his own personal playground. But beneath his smug exterior, there's a jealous streak that runs as deep as the ocean they're sailing on. He's aware of Isabella's dalliances with Richard, and, even though their marriage is a sham, his pride can't stomach the betrayal. Would he kill to restore his honor? Lastly, we have Isabella herself. The belle of the ball, the eye of the storm, a woman who loved too much, too freely. She was drawn to Richard's charm, his power, his danger. Yet, she was bound to Alexander by a loveless marriage of convenience. She was a woman trapped, desperate for a way out. Could her actions have led to her own demise? Each of them locked in a dance of desire, jealousy, and deceit. Each of them with reasons to wish Isabella gone. But who among them, if any, could push her over the edge, condemning her to a watery grave? A tangled web of passion and betrayal, but is it enough to lead to murder? Beyond the love triangle, there lurks another player in the shadows, a friend green-eyed with jealousy. Let's pull back the curtain and shine a light on this enigmatic figure. Her name is Marianne, a lifelong companion of our unfortunate victim, forever dwelling in her radiant shadow. Marianne, the overlooked, the understated, the ordinary. But beneath this unassuming facade lay a tumultuous storm of envy and longing. She had always been there in the periphery, the silent observer of their twisted love triangle. What was her relationship with the victim, you may ask? They were childhood friends, best friends, or so it seemed. But their friendship bore the weight of unrequited love and unfulfilled desires. Marianne yearned for the attention, the adoration that was so effortlessly bestowed upon her beautiful friend. The love triangle was a constant reminder of what she could never have. Before the incident, Marianne was known to be jovial, the life of the party. But as the cruise journeyed on, her demeanor changed. She grew distant, her eyes mirroring the icy depths of the sea they were sailing on. She was seen arguing with the victim on more than one occasion, her voice echoing the roar of the waves against the ship's hull. And what of her behavior after the incident? She was distraught, or so it seemed. But there was a strange calmness about her, a tranquility that one might find unsettling. She showed no signs of surprise when the victim's body was discovered, only a faint smile that quickly vanished when others turned to look. In the midst of love, lust, and betrayal, could Marianne, the overlooked friend, be the unseen hand behind the tragic incident? Was it her jealousy that pushed her over the edge, leading her to push her friend over the ship's ledge? Could envy have driven this friend to the brink of madness and murder? Let's piece together the puzzle, shall we? The devil, as they say, is in the details. Our first clue, a cocktail glass found near the scene, brimming with a concoction of intrigue and deception. This wasn't just any cocktail, but one laced with a rare and powerful sedative. Not something you'd stumble upon in your average cruise ship bar. It was clear someone on board had access to resources beyond the ordinary. The second clue, a single black feather discovered on the deck. An unusual find on a sea voyage, wouldn't you say? This feather wasn't from any seagull, but from a raven. Now, why would a raven's feather be present on a cruise ship? Unless, of course, it was intentionally placed there as a symbol of impending doom. The third clue, a torn page from a diary. The words were written hastily in a frantic hand. She mustn't have him. I won't allow it. A raw display of jealousy, a motive that cuts deep. But whose diary did this page belong to, and who was the object of such fierce envy? The fourth clue, a photograph found in the victim's room. It showed our beautiful lady, radiant as ever, but standing next to her was not one of her lovers, but her friend, the one who always lurked in her shadow. The friend's gaze was not one of affection, but of longing, a yearning for the attention she could never garner. The fifth clue, an audio recording. A heated argument between two women. The voices were muffled, but the intensity of the conversation was palpable. One voice was pleading, the other, aggressive, demanding. A friendship strained, a bond broken. Each clue a breadcrumb in a trail that leads us to a revelation. The cocktail glass, a symbol of manipulation. The raven's feather, a warning or perhaps a red herring. The diary page, a confession of jealousy. The photograph, a testament of unrequited feelings. The audio recording, a snapshot of a relationship on the brink of collapse. These clues, seemingly unrelated at first, converged to form a narrative. A narrative of a friendship tainted by envy, of a desire for attention that spiraled into obsession, and of a tragic end to a beautiful life. The cocktail glass points to premeditation. The feather, a theatrical touch, indicative of a person who craves attention, even if it's for a heinous act. The diary page, a declaration of envy, and the photograph, a visual representation of the same. The audio recording, the final breakdown of a friendship that was doomed from the start. As we delve deeper into the mystery, the true nature of our characters begins to unravel. The lovers, initially the prime suspects, now seem like mere pawns in a game of jealousy and obsession. The friend, once an overlooked character, now stands in the spotlight, a suspect whose innocence is hanging by a thread. With these clues in hand, the face of the murderer begins to emerge from the shadows. The time has come to pull back the curtain and reveal the truth. Our tale of deceit and danger on the high seas ends not with the expected, but with the unexpected. The murderer, the one who pushed our beautiful victim to her watery grave, was none other than the overlooked, the seemingly innocent, the friend lost in the shadows of the love triangle. Yes, dear listeners, it was the friend, the one who craved not the love, but the attention of our radiant victim. Envy, not passion, was the driver of this dreadful act. While we were engrossed in the intricate dance of love and rivalry, it was jealousy that silently crept up and took the fatal plunge. The clues were there, subtly woven into the fabric of our story. Remember the friend's subtle hints of discontent, the flicker of envy in her eyes, the barely noticeable tension that hung in the air whenever she was around. These were the breadcrumbs that led us to the shocking truth. The friend's motive was not born of hatred, but of an intense craving for attention, a longing to be noticed, to be admired, just like our victim. When the spotlight didn't shine on her, she decided to douse it out entirely. When confronted with the evidence, the friend couldn't hide her guilt. Her eyes welled up, not with remorse, but with a strange relief. Perhaps the weight of the secret was too heavy to bear. The confession came, not as a surprise, but as a chilling affirmation of what the clues had been whispering all along. Her reaction was not of defiance, but of surrender. A surrender to her own overwhelming emotions, her own envy that had nudged her down this dark path. She had been caught in her own web of deceit and jealousy, a tragic end to an otherwise unnoticed existence. And so our maritime mystery comes to a shocking end. But remember, the sea of mysteries is vast and deep, and we're only just beginning to navigate its treacherous waters. Like and subscribe for the next mystery.